Hey, everybody. I'm Liz Larson with Cognomovement, and I just wanted to check in with you all. There's something that we've been hearing a lot from everybody around the planet, and it's about feeling weird. So I'm wondering, are you feeling weird lately? Like, are you just having a hard time regulating your energy? Are you having like low level anxiety all the time, but you don't know why? Are you struggling with your mood in general? And I don't mean like, just depression or happy, but I mean like, are you having anger outbursts and you just don't know why? Well, I may have an answer for you that might help you manage this. But also, you might not love the answer and you might think it's weird. So, are you aware that we are having a lot of planetary changes right now? And before you shift off and be like, okay, this is too weird, hear me out. There's something about this that I think is going to make really perfect sense to you. But are you aware we are having major planetary changes right now? We're under a lot of solar flare activity. So scientists are showing this. There's a lot of YouTube channels out there. Mr. MB333, if you're not familiar with him, check him out. That watch the sun. They're watching the sunspots and they're watching these solar flares. And what it looks like is a magma eruption from the sun. But then, if it's in the right position, that flash of energy and its power, real power, hits the earth, it impacts us. And there are a lot of theories right now that that solar flare activity, that energy, impacts the earth and is making things like earthquakes and volcanoes. The other things that is changing is the vibration of our planet. There's a thing called the Schumann resonance, which everything has been measured off of since we've been able to measure, and helps us keep atomic time and all of that. And it's a vibration that our bodies are very, very accustomed to. That is now highly erratic, shooting up, spiking down, and constantly changing. So our bodies are also having to deal with all of this shift in energy. Think about it. If you're used to this very even, very, very constant, gentle vibration of the planet, that's what we know. That's what our cells align with. And then that changes radically, and it could change radically at different places on the planet. You're changing radically too, or trying to keep up with it. And our systems aren't really designed like that. They change energy relatively slowly. And so we're hit with energy from the sun and then an equal and opposite force from the earth. And we are all over the place. It really just makes sense. We're on the planet, we're having experiences from the sun. Our bodies change with the tides. We know that the word lunatic or lunacy comes from the cycles of the moon. It's one of those things that everybody seems to know, and hospitals verify that there's more babies born on a full moon, more accidents on a full moon, more people acting crazy on a full moon, more arrests on a full moon, more crime activity on a full moon. We really are affected by all the planets around us in a real and a very explainable way. So consider for yourself, if you're struggling to maintain your energy, feeling pushed all around, this might be why. And there's something you can do about it. But before we talk about that, let's talk about those of us who are on the consciousness path too, those of us who are actively working to change our energy. So with our program, Cognomovement, we know that when you delete a program out of your system or you stop a big pattern like shame or guilt or fear from your system, or even one single resentment from your system, that energy gets shifted. And for those patterns to run in the body, when you're furious at someone for decades, that literally gobbles your energy. So when that is released from your body, the body is not sending that signal from the brain to the body to the brain, back and forth, making itself bigger and bigger. When that's released, you actually get a flood of energy back into the body. And then your body does amazing things with that energy. It heals you where you couldn't heal before. We've had miraculous healings just because the body literally has the voltage left over to create healing. When we're in fight or flight, we don't heal. And that's for good reason, a really good biological reason. When you're running from a lion on your butt, you don't have time to be healing, a torn ligament in your shoulder. You also don't have time to be thinking about creating masterpieces or writing books or, creating an amazing dinner or all those things that you want to do. Your body's occupied with its energy running away from a lion. And that lion is like that person you're pissed at for decades, or that trauma that you had when you were a child, or that constant fear that you have. So when we are actively doing the work to change that, and we see it very specifically with people who are practicing Cognomovement, that their voltage will change, their energy changes also. So consider that when the energy of the planet is changing and the sun's throwing energy at us, right? It's a big mix. So those of us who are actively changing our consciousness through giving the energy back to the body and deleting old patterns, we are very, very sensitive to this because we're aware very acutely of when our mood or energy changes. So we learn that, something's off. I'm feeling really uncomfortable here. I'm going to change that so it doesn't turn into a bigger pattern. Or I'm feeling really uncomfortable here. That's probably the result of an old pattern that is now affecting me and how I interact with the world. Once you learn it, once you know how to assess yourself and know if your energy is being affected, then you also know how to create changes. You get a choice to change that so that you can be more effective on the planet and do more of the things that you choose rather than being driven by an old response that's literally from something in your past. It's like your body is living in the past, but your mind wants to live in the present. So we make those adjustments. So now we get to the part where there's something you can do about all this crazy energy on the planet, especially if you're sensitive and aware of it. Those of you who are sensitive but not aware of how to change it, you're probably suffering the most. And what's hard about that is that you're sensitive and you'll notice that your energy's off for the day, maybe really low. You can't get out of bed. And then your mind will make up a reason for it. This is what makes it really hard. And those of you who are intuitive, you might think that this energy means, someone's throwing bad energy at you, or something bad is about to happen in the world, or there's something to worry about, where actually what it is the energy of the planet has changed, dipped and moved, and you're just feeling it. That's all. This is what our bodies do. It makes up ideas about how to match the feeling we have in our body. So if you're super sensitive and not aware of how to change it, or that you could or should, your body will make up a reason that may not be true, which then may send you down a spiraling path. Think about it. You'll be talking to somebody, oh my gosh, I think there's something bad going to happen. I have this bad feeling in my body. Now you've passed it on to them, right? And now they're thinking, oh my gosh, they're intuitive. They know, and that something bad's happening on the planet, when really it's just a wave of energy. Wait a couple days and you'll level out and be normal again, right? So we want to be really, really careful and become aware of these patterns so that we can make a choice to change them, so we don't spiral out in response to something that's actually changeable, right? So some things you can do if you're just feeling weird, feeling off, or having what I just described, everything feels off, but you don't know why. You're worried that something's bad's going to happen on the planet, or you're having low level of anxiety all the time, really just from the changes on the planet and in the sun. If you stop and notice, here's level one. Stop and notice what your body is doing. We don't do this. We just believe what our body's telling us. And if we're intuitive, we do that even more. But now with all of this energy moving and flowing and changing, we can't necessarily trust that. We need to have a tool to help us know, is this the energy fluctuating on the planet, or is there really something? We're going to be able to separate them. So notice what your body is doing and why. So let's say you just get out of bed in the morning and your body just feels shaky and anxious and you have no idea. Stop and figure out, how is my body doing that? What's happening? Oh yeah, I feel a little maybe butterflies in the tummy. I feel a little shaking. Okay. I wonder what's going on the planet today. I wonder what's shifting and changing. There are so many scientific tools. Heart Math Institute is one. Look it up. See what's happening. Mr. MB333, will tell you what the solar flares are happening. And if you notice there's a massive change in energy, or there's aurora borealis all the way down in Florida, it might give you a clue to match what's physically happening in your body to a change on the planet. For some of us, just knowing that helps us ride the wave. Okay, things are a little hot today. Let me just see how I can cool things down for myself, like grounding, getting your feet on the ground. If you're on the planet where it's summertime, go find a swimming hole and get yourself into it. The water does really help us soothe and create those changes. Sometimes connecting with the planet is helpful because whatever's happening to her, we can sort of adjust. That works really great. Another big thing, and this is a weird one, is salt. Taking some extra Himalayan, Celtic, any natural sea salt, take a little bit and just put a little bit under your tongue and salinate your system. Having your body be a little more electromagnetically conductive really helps us manage all this extra flow of energy. I know it seems crazy. If you look up Dr. David Brownstein, if you watch Gaia TV, he has 3 amazing episodes there, but you can look him up on YouTube too. Find out more about using this kind of salt. It's essential. And most of us are deficient because our doctors tell us to stop eating salt, but what they mean is table salt, because that's really 2 kinds of poison. But this natural salts have a lot of minerals that help our body conduct energy, and this energy is crazy all around us. So just that alone can really help the body have a positive energy flow, be able to manage it better and be able to get through the days easier. Also, the interesting thing about it is it helps you have more energy. By the end of the day, you'll be like, woohoo, look what I can do. If you've just, put a little bit under your tongue throughout over the day, especially on those days when the energy is hot. So it really helps you to know this. What we do in Cognomovement is we actually reset our nervous systems. So we'll do, our Cogno ball, and we'll actually harmonize the left and right hemispheres of the brain. We actively turn down the fight or flight system. So just because the energy is hot and the energy is changing on the planet does not mean your body needs to go into fight or flight. You don't have to be angry or anxious or fearful just because the energy is changing. So if you know how to harmonize the hemispheres of the brain, down regulate the nervous system is what we do with this little ball. Let the whole system take a look at the new energy level very, very quickly. A couple of minutes it takes most of us now. The system settles out and it rides the wave easier. Think about it this way. The energy is going to be shifting and changing anyway. It's just what's happening in the place in the universe that our solar system is moving through. That it's just what's happening. So it's like riding a roller coaster and being deathly terrified, or riding the roller coaster and having that be a wild, fun ride. We are going through that wild, fun ride on the planet right now, but most of our bodies just don't know how to process it. And so it's terror and fear, which is absolutely unresourceful. What we know is there's so much available on the planet right now that wasn't before. Ways to shift and change, miracles that can happen. I mean, even these little gadgets that we have, these are a form of a miracle. Connects us with each other. We can see each other's face. We can talk to anybody around the planet at any time that we want to. And it's all just this little gadget in our hand that is also electric. Electricity also has an effect on our physical bodies. So we really need to be aware of the things that are influencing our physical bodies naturally. It's not even woo-woo. It's not even strange. It's just that we're electrical beings. We're full of water, which is affected by, you got it, the moon. That's why the tides are affected. So we just need to be aware and have tools to help ourselves ride the wave in a way that's fun and exciting, where we can see all the amazing, wonderful things that have become possible. So if you want to know more about Cognomovement, cognomovement.com, push the start here button and you can learn how we do it. Otherwise, try on some salt. Try on looking up some of these moon phase videos and learn about the Schumann resonance. Find out more about why your system is reacting the way it's reacting. Don't just accept what's going on if it doesn't feel good to you. All right, you guys, we'll see you very soon.